Masha Korpacheva is a California-based realtor and a member of the National Association of Realtors in Los Angeles. She's an advocate for selling and buying homes with soul and practicing mindfulness in real estate. With master's degrees in spiritual psychology and linguistics, Masha brings all of her skills to work with her clients. An intuit and empath, she has touched many lives with her outstanding ability to see beyond the visible and helping to come to better understanding of issues and their resolutions. An adventurous world traveler, from climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania to exploring the Galapagos Islands, Masha has a particular passion for the City of Angels. Having landed in this paradise and adopted it as her home, she's been sharing old Hollywood stories since 2007. This podcast is an invitation to feel and experience the souls of famous old Hollywood homes and to have an in-depth journey to the areas where they're located through interviews with longtime residents. Either you're a fan of old Hollywood in Los Angeles, planning to have a vacation, or, an even bigger step, considering a certain area for your future home. This is your opportunity to receive valuable information and insightful advice you won't find anywhere else. In the mood for California, feel the soul of old Hollywood.
Hello, and welcome to my podcast. Are you in the mood for California? Today, we're exploring and feeling Norma Triangle, and we'll find out why there are so many adorable bungalows there, followed by an interview with super talented Maurice Newhouse, who is a custom wig maker, and he will share with us what it feels like to live in West Hollywood. And now, are you ready to feel the soul of Norma Triangle? Triangle is considered to be the strongest shape, while representing geometric sturdiness. It is a symbol of strength and stability. One of the best known and most historic of the neighborhoods is Norma Triangle in West Hollywood, and it borders Santa Monica Boulevard on the south and goes all the way to Sunset Boulevard with Doheny Drive on one side and San Vicente Boulevard on the other. Named after silent film star Norma Talmadge, whose husband, the film mogul Joseph Schenck, built a Hollywood studio for her production company, the Norma Talmadge Film Corporation, on North Robertson Boulevard in the Triangle. Walking down Cynthia, Hammond, Clark, Lloyd, Dix, Heath, and other streets, you feel as if you are traveling back in time, as the coziness, warmth, and accepting friendliness of this area is very tangible. You immediately realize that you are in a tightly knit community rather than being lost in a large city. It feels very safe here. Historians say that the homes in this area were built for the people who worked for Los Angeles Pacific Railway, which was a streetcar company in early 1900s. And the depot was located at the Pacific Design Center site. The streets were named after children and friends of Moses Sherman, the founder of the town Sherman, which is now called West Hollywood. These tiny, narrow, and yet adorably quaint streets are ornamented with single-family bungalows dating to the 1910s and 1920s, which, despite their petite size, now in 2022, fetch some hefty prices, starting from $1.3, $1.4 million. During those changing times, the bungalow became a very popular style, as it was able to meet the needs of the new middle-class people who were moving from apartments to private houses in great numbers. Bungalows were low-profile but innovative, modest, easily built, inexpensive, and therefore very attractive to the buyers. Before World War I, a bungalow would be built for as little as $900, although after the war prices increased to around $3,500. But what is a California bungalow? Derived from a Hindi word bangla, meaning a house in the Bengali style, bungalows first came into England during the era of the British administration of India. Throughout time, they've been beach homes, retreats, vacation pads, affordable housing, and eventually, in response to California climate and the growing arts and crafts movement of the early 20th century, the style swept the state. Imagine a single-story rectangular house with wooden siding and a thick front porch, veranda pylons, gabled roof, and wide eaves, generous windows, and an airy interior. This style is considered simple but artistic, an ideal home for people who like practicality and yet appreciate the warmth of family gatherings. As you enter through the front door, you instantly find yourself in an unpretentious living room with a modest fireplace. A broad opening leads into a separate dining room with a small adjacent kitchen. Enveloped in the coziness of the surrounding atmosphere, you look out of the window and your eyes meet with a playful bougainvillea that has been eavesdropping on the conversations inside the bungalow over the years. Welcome home, my new friend. And here we are. Welcome to West Hollywood. I'm so honored and delighted to have Maurice Newhouse here with me. Maurice is a custom wig maker living in West Hollywood with his husband and two dogs. Originally from Germany, he moved to New York City in 1998, and eventually he made his way to Los Angeles in 2011. You can follow Maurice on Instagram at wigsfromscratch or visit his website wigsfromscratch.com. He is so incredibly talented. Maurice is going to share with us what it feels like to live in West Hollywood. Hello, Maurice.
Hi, Masha.
I'm so excited to have you here with me and talk with you about West Hollywood.
Of course, I'm excited to be here.
It's such a wonderful area. And my first question to you will be, why did you choose to live in West Hollywood?
Well, when I first moved to LA, I lived in Venice for 2 years with a roommate. And then I met my current husband. And he lived in West Hollywood. And so then, after 9 months of driving back and forth all the time, we decided it would be a better idea for me to move in. So then I kind of moved to West Hollywood by default. But I think my goal was always to end up in West Hollywood. I just didn't have the means when I first moved to LA.
Right. Totally makes sense. Absolutely. And what does it feel like for you to live in this area?
Oh man, I just really love West Hollywood. It's almost like a village in the big city. And I mean that's kind of like what a lot of Los Angeles is, where it's like all these like small areas or towns or neighborhoods that make up this vast city. And even though West Hollywood is its own city, I feel like it's a gay mecca. It's so fun to be here because there's lots of gay guys, and it's just it's part of our community. The actual city flag is the rainbow flag. So it feels home, and it feels like you're welcome, and it's just a great community. And when I go to my grocery store, I know the names of my butcher. I know the names of my cheese person. Like I just it's kind of like living in a village in a big town, I feel like.
Yes, I so understand what you're saying. That's very true that Los Angeles consists of so many little neighborhoods. And once people pick a neighborhood for themselves that feels just right to them, and the whole community feels very cozy and warm and welcoming, and the names of people once you go to different stores. It's a
Yeah,
wonderful feeling.
exactly. And on top of that, you get all the advantages of being in a big city. So you're not really like giving up on anything. Like you feel like you're in a community, which sometimes in big cities, maybe you don't really feel like that. Maybe, I don't know, I've never lived in Chicago, but let's say, you live there and maybe you just feel like, not as much a part of a community. But here it really is, it's a great thing.
Yes, yes, and that's very special for Los Angeles. So West Hollywood, there are many people who have never been to this area of Los Angeles. How would you describe it to someone who would want to visit, or someone who would want to have some sort of an idea what it is like? How would you describe it?
It's very laid back, in my opinion. It's very kind of, I mean, obviously sunny and beautiful most of the year. And it's very, I mean, most of the houses, the majority is like maybe 2 or 3 stories or single family homes. Of course, we have some, high rises with apartment buildings and complexes and all that stuff. But yeah, it's laid back, but at the same time, we have a lot of like trendy restaurants and trendy nightclubs and trendy stores. So it's like a nice mixture of living here as well as, having tourists come to explore all those, great things that we have here.
Right, right, yes. And West Hollywood for me also has always been like a very trendy place, as you mentioned, like trendy restaurants, trendy bars, trendy nightclubs, and everything is very accessible because it's like right around you, like you're right in the middle of everything.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So originally you're from Germany, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And you did live on the East Coast for some time, as you already mentioned, and then you
Hmm.
came to live in Venice. So for a couple of months, and then how did it affect the quality of your life when you moved to West Hollywood? What changed as compared to, let's say, East Coast, or when you lived in Venice?
Oh, I mean, I think my quality of life has improved so much ever since moving to LA or to West Hollywood. Life in New York can just be really hard. Everything is just hard because nobody has a car. So you have to, like, let's say like you go to Bed Bath and Beyond and you have to buy, a shelf or something. You have to hail a cab and it's pouring rain and you're not getting a cab. And it's just everything is like such a struggle.
Right.
In LA, or in West Hollywood, everyone has a car. I can go hiking. I can be outside a lot. I love being outside. I love being in nature. And before moving here, I really didn't realize like how much of a nature person I am. And so I just think it's so great that, in 10 minutes, I can be at a hike and running canyon and just, get a good workout in, be outside, get some sun, be around people. And it's just, I don't know, it's just such a great life, I think.
Yes, very true. And I think that is so true. Like when you live in a large city like New York, for example, you seem to be so far removed from nature. And in Los Angeles, everything is like right at your feet, hiking
Yeah.
and the ocean, like the beach. It's like it's sunny and warm most of the time. Yeah. And you feel like you want to be outside mostly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the fact that I live 25 minutes from the beach is insanity to me. Like growing up in Germany where it's like cold most of the year and, you have a nice summer there, but you're not close to the ocean. I mean, I didn't live close to the ocean in Germany. We have an ocean, but it's north and I wasn't there. So yeah, so like that I can just drive to the ocean and to the beach here and just go there. It's just, it's a dream, for me.
Yes, yes, it's a dream and it's a blessing to live in such
Hmm.
a wonderful climate for sure.
Exactly.
So, what are your favorite activities? And is living in West Hollywood conducive to your lifestyle?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, as I mentioned, we love to go hiking, my husband and and I love, walking our dogs, being outside. I love to have dinner parties and host people, which, in New York, there's no way you can do that unless you're like a multi-millionaire and you actually have an apartment with a
Right.
normal sized dining room, or even to have a dining room is like such a luxury. Most people live in a shoebox, and so did I. Uh, you know, like, I mean, that was part of why I moved to LA because I, wanted to have room for a toaster. Like I would literally toast my toast in a skillet on top of the stove because I didn't have room for a toaster in New York.
True story. True story.
Yes, yes. I stored my shoes in the oven. I mean, that's how little space I had.
Yeah.
In plastic bags, of course. Yeah, so I love that I'm able to have friends over and be able to cook for them and sit outside, and yeah, it's just like a
Yes, yes, I see what you mean. So you stored your shoes in the oven when you lived in New York.
oh yeah, yep,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
I wasn't using the oven, and I'm like, this is wasted space. So I put the shoes in a shoe bag or a plastic bag, and I put them in the oven. You know.
very interesting. So when you moved to LA and you probably use the oven quite often now, right?
I'm sorry.
So since you moved to LA, you started using the oven more often.
Oh yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because I actually started baking and cooking when I moved here. 2 years after I moved here, yeah, because my husband loves to cook and bake, and it's always like something I wanted to learn. And in New York, I was single, like nobody has room to cook or bake. And so I started doing that here, and it became a big passion of mine, and it still is. So I love baking and I love cooking, and I cook every Sunday. So for the week, and then.
That's incredible.
Mhm.
Just because of you being able to use the oven for cooking instead of storing your shoes there, like your new passion emerged.
Yes, yes, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful hobby to have. Like it's humanity has been cooking for a very long time, and it's just first of all, it brings people together. Second of all, it's an activity that you can do in any kind of decade. So I heard once on NPR that if you engaging in an activity that could have taken place in any time, it's actually much more relaxing than if you're engaging in something that involves like technology or something that's specific to your time, because it's so innate to human nature. And so it's very relaxing and very centering to prepare food. So it's a great hobby to have.
Yes, yes. And this is something that really connects people together, makes you
Yeah,
feel at home with them.
exactly. And you're able to express love to your friends and family, and show them your love through your cooking. It's wonderful. I really enjoy it.
Oh, I love this. That's a beautiful story. From storing your shoes in the oven to like cooking and bringing friends and family together. That's so
Yes.
wonderful.
Uh-huh.
So you have a beautiful home, and my question is, what does your home mean to you?
It's very, very important. I know there's maybe some people that don't feel that way about their home, but it's my refuge. It's my space where I center myself. It's the space where I welcome my friends and family, and it needs to be. We're both kind of like OCD, so it has to be clean, it has to be orderly, it has to be nice and tidy, and that way like I can just enjoy it. It's like yeah, it's very important to me.
Yes, yes, I can see that. And what is the heart of your home, and where do you prefer to spend most of your time?
I would say probably the kitchen. I mean, the kitchen, and then whatever table we sit around to talk with our friends around food, because I feel like everyone, if you're throwing a party, I mean, we happen to have an open floor plan, but I feel like at any party, no matter where you are, people always end up in the kitchen.
That's true.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a central, I don't know, magnet of the home where everybody feels at home, and where just natural conversations arise around food. And yeah, I think that's definitely our heart of the home.
Oh, that's beautiful. And even when you're by yourself, you're still kind of leaning towards kitchen. You still want to be there. Would you say that?
We have a nice patio where we can sit. So I enjoy being on the patio as well, in the backyard. A living room. I don't know if I have a specific place. I would say that's like my spot or something. So like our bedroom, like I'm just I don't know. I just like
Okay,
whole house.
so whole house, whole house. Yes, the house deserves that. The house deserves
Yeah.
you to be present everywhere. So it's a sacred place for gathering and feeling good and feeling, yes, I like the way you said it, as a refuge.
Yeah.
And I think it's also important, being originally from another country and as an immigrant, to have this refuge, to have created this refuge in such a, huge city as Los Angeles, and having found your little neighborhood. I mean, that's so important.
Yeah, definitely.
So I have a couple of blitz questions for you about West Hollywood.
Sure.
First of all, what is your favorite store?
I really like Candelarium.
Mm.
It's on Santa Monica Boulevard, and I think by just off Crescent Heights. And it's a huge store. They're only selling candles, scented candles, unscented candles, and anything that has to do with scents, like room sprays and all that stuff. And it's just it's a great store, and everyone there really knows their products. And it's a store you can spend a lot of time and money.
Wow, what a great idea to have a store just for candles, Candelarium.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. What about your favorite coffee place?
There aren't, I mean, I feel like I don't go to coffee places that much anymore because I like to bake myself now and I prefer to eat my own baked goods. But I do like Earth Cafe on Melrose because they do have a wide variety of, pies and cakes and brownies and cookies and coffee and stuff. And it's, nice to sit outside there. So I like that place.
Okay, Earth Cafe. I like it too. They have like some of the best lattes I've ever had. And I like the outside seating as well. It's very nice and relaxing, once you're there when it's not too hot. Yeah, it's a lovely.
Yeah.
What is your favorite restaurant in West Hollywood?
I think Chiconi's. I think it's on Beverly and Robertson. And it's really nice because ever since the pandemic, they actually turned their outside valet area into additional seating. So it's really nice to sit out there because it makes you feel like you're like in some like Italian piazza or something where you're just sitting outside, and the food is great. So yeah, I really like that place.
Yes, Chiconi's is wonderful. I love Chiconi's. Wow, we have many similar tastes. Okay, and where can you take photos that will make West Hollywood recognizable right away?
I would say maybe on Santa Monica and San Vicente, because there you have the rainbow flag street crossing. So basically, the rainbow flag is like painted onto the street instead of the black and white stripes for street crossing. And I think that's kind of like emblematic of West Hollywood,
right.
I would say.
Yes. It's like the symbol of West Hollywood. It's like very nice, beautiful. Well, Maurice, thank you so much for such a wonderful conversation. I enjoyed exploring West Hollywood with you, and you shared so many wonderful things about this area that has become your new home and the home that you love and where you feel, the refuge. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a great time. That was wonderful talking with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed experiencing Norma Triangle with its adorable bungalows and getting a feel of West Hollywood with our special guest, Maurice Newhouse. Remember to follow him on Instagram at Weeks from Scratch. And please press the like button, follow, and share your feedback for the podcast. Your time and support are greatly appreciated. Next time, we are traveling to Burbank and will explore the portal of the Folded Wings. See you there!
In the mood for California, feel the soul of Old Hollywood.